Today I'm gonna show you how to crossbreed blue roses. In order to get blue roses, you need to follow a lot of steps in order to get to where I am right now. Blue roses are one of the most difficult roses to breed in the game, and there is a lot of misinformation going around on the internet about how to obtain them. If you follow my guide in this video and you follow everything step by step, the end result should be that you will have a beautiful field of blue roses in your Animal Crossing garden. So for the first step, you need to start with white roses. These have to be roses that come directly from a seed. You cannot use crossbred white roses for this step because of the genes that we need for future steps. Step 2. After your white roses have been crossbreeding for a while, eventually you will end up with a purple rose. This purple has to be crossbred with a yellow rose. This yellow rose has to come from a seed, and you will have to keep on crossbreeding these two flowers until you get a white rose. After a while, when you're crossbreeding the yellow and purple roses, they will have a white rose offspring. These white offsprings can be used for the next step. The difference between these white roses and the ones that come from the seed is basically you have now started to crossbreed and to isolate the genes that are required to get blue roses. So with these white roses, you can now proceed to the next step. So now we have arrived at the third step. In the third step, you want to crossbreed the two white roses from step 2, and you want to keep breeding them until you get a purple offspring again. After some time, the white roses will crossbreed and they will produce a purple rose. These purple roses can be used for the next step. However, there is something very important about this. Only half of the purple roses that are produced in this way have the right genetic code that can be used in order to get blue roses at the end. A simple way to test is by taking a purple rose and crossbreeding it with a seed yellow. A good rose that can be used to get a blue rose at the end will produce a yellow offspring 50% of the time. However, a bad rose, a bad purple rose, will only produce white offsprings when crossbred with a yellow. So once you have determined that your purple roses are indeed the right kind of purple roses that are also capable of producing yellow roses in the previous step, you can move on to step 4. In step 4, you will want to crossbreed the two purple roses from the previous step, and now you need to crossbreed those to get white roses again. So while your purple roses are crossbreeding and producing white roses again, in the meantime you can plant two red roses that come from a seed in order to produce black roses. Now that your red roses have crossbred and you got black roses and you also have white ones that came from the purple crossbreeding step, you're ready to move on to the next step. In the next step, you want to basically breed the white roses from the previous step with the black roses that you've just crossbred from the red ones. And by doing so, you want to crossbreed these until you get red roses out of it. So for this step, you're gonna crossbreed the white roses with the black roses, and your goal with this is to produce red roses. So after a while, you will get red roses that are a crossbred version of the white and the black ones. At this point, you can basically remove the black roses and reorganize the red ones in order to start crossbreeding the same white ones with the red ones in order to get orange roses. After a while, your plot will look like this. You will have orange roses that are an offspring from both the white and the red crossbreds from the previous steps. These orange roses will then be crossbred again with the same white roses. Crossbreeding the orange roses and the white roses will eventually end up with red roses. These red roses are basically the last step you need towards blue roses. The red roses from this step have a 25% chance to create blue roses when crossbred. Once you have a bunch of red roses spawning from the previous crossbreeding steps, you're basically ready to start removing all the white and orange roses and keep the red roses there to crossbreed further. These specific red roses are special because these red roses have all the required genes in order to produce blue roses. You need to be very careful that you do not crossbreed these with any other kind of rose because this will kind of ruin the genetic pool for the offsprings. These red roses, even if they produce more red roses, are basically a duplicate of each other and can be used to produce more blues. After a while, about 25% of the time, you will end up with a blue rose and it's gonna look something like this. And there you go. After all these complicated steps, you will eventually end up with blue roses. And there you go. If you follow these steps, this is how you end up with blue roses. I have to say that I did not find out about these steps by myself, but I rather found a thread on Reddit where somebody by the name of Pele has written up a flower genetics guide in order to breed all the different colors. He used data that was data mined by a user named Aether in order to compile the guide that I basically showed today in a visual representation in order to get to where I am now. Currently we have all the 1.0 flowers in our game, so if there is any color or flower that you are missing or you are not sure how to breed, feel free to leave a comment and I will gladly guide you into the right direction to breed the colors that you're looking for. Not just for roses, but any kind of flower. Either way, I hope that you've enjoyed the video and I hope you have a good day and maybe see you next time. Take care.